Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your January, soul session. I am Marlo, if you're new. Okay. And if you're family, welcome back, my friend. You guys' cards are jumping out quick, so we're going to go ahead and hop right in. So, anywho, first card out, it is, okay, wait, if I can move my fingers. It's the 10 of Wands in the reverse, coming out of December and into January. Welcome to 2023, by the way. Next card that we have is the 6 of Swords. Then we have the 7 of Swords in the reverse. So we're looking at the first through 15 days here, people. So for the first week of January, which is the week of the Cancer full moon, and we are also in Mercury retrograde. That's always nice. But with this, okay, why are you guys cards coming out so easy? What's happening in America? Anyway, with this 10 of Wands in the reverse, you guys are more or less coming into 2023 releasing all burdens. Anything that doesn't serve you, anything that's not your responsibility, you're like, F that. You feel me? And you guys are moving forward. So this is hella good. Okay, can I just say that already? So with the 6 of Swords, you guys are moving forward into calmer waters, if you will say it that way. But it's more or less like mentally, you guys are leaving behind the BS. So I feel, and it feels almost to me like a promise you made to yourself. I feel in 2022, for my Scorpios, there may have been a great deal of false responsibility, or even you blaming yourself for things that had absolutely nothing to do with you, or taking responsibility for other people, things that they had going on, and kind of overburdening yourself with that. But I feel coming into this month, you guys were just like, heck no. Coming into this year, y'all like, heck no, I'm not doing it. So it's more or less making yourself a priority and cutting ties with the past and electing to move forward. And I feel by the Cancer full moon with the 7 of Swords and the reverse, there's going to be some clarity that you guys get in reference to that. And I mean clarity in the sense of like clarity, like confirmation. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, and this would probably literally be on the Cancer full moon, it would manifest for you guys almost like if there was fear involved in making this decision and leaving this behind, like people behind, or this job, whatever the case, whatever it is for you in particular, and kind of, distancing yourself. I feel it's going to be something that happens. I don't necessarily think it would come as like a revelation. I mean, it could, but I feel it's almost like, and it's going to sound funny. It's, I mean, it may not be funny to you. It's hilarious to me, but it's almost like getting out of Dodge. Like, it's kind of one of those things where, like, say hypothetically, you were at, I don't know, a party or something, and people were acting crazy, and something just told you like to leave, and you're just like, you know what, like, I knew I shouldn't hang out with these people. I don't even know why I came to this party. And then you leave, and then you end up finding out like, oh my gosh, you should be so glad that you left, right? Because XYZ happened. And that's like confirmation for you, because not only did you decide to leave the party, but you also decided to cut ties with those people, because being there made you realize like, this isn't my cup of tea anymore. So I feel by the end of the week, you guys are going to get something that comes in the form of that. Now, moving into the second week of January, I don't know why these are so hard for me to read upside down, because I'm literally like, what does that say? We have the 3 of Hazards and the reverse. Okay, that's the Pentacles in this deck. But with the 3 of Pentacles in the reverse, that's literally saying you guys are going into solitary mode. Now, I'm going to forewarn you, like I forewarned Capricorn in reference to this. There's absolutely nothing wrong with taking a step back and spending some time by yourself, especially, I mean, if you just cut all your friends off. I mean, you're going to be by yourself. But anyway, there's nothing wrong with being by yourself. But this year in particular, it's important to keep in mind that being in complete utmost hermit mode, like meaning that like you're cutting everybody off type of deal. And I mean, not saying people who are not toxic, like by all means, cut off toxic people, but you don't want to sequester yourself. So you want to make sure that you keep contact with positive people that speak life into you, because you can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it. And this year, like, community is hella important, and having like a circle of people who are positive and kind of on the same life path as you. But I see going into the second week of December with this 3 of Pentacles in the reverse, you guys are really going to be in a solitary kind of space. You know what I mean? My guides are telling me to say this. I used to say this a lot back in the day. So sorry to interrupt you guys while you're listening to the show, but I wanted to tell you guys about our new partnership with BetterHelp. If you haven't heard of them, it's an online resource in which you can find your very own friendly local neighborhood therapist, no matter where you are in the world. You sign up, and within 24 hours, they match you with a therapist that's right for you. And you can talk to your counselor every week via phone or video chat. You can also text them between sessions. If you or someone you know has been considering therapy, get started today with BetterHelp. Now let's get back to the show. Back in the day, meaning earlier in 2022. But anyway, there's a difference between isolation and solitude, right? Isolation is when you're electing to completely cut yourself off from everyone and not fraternizing with people at all. And that's like indefinite. But solitude is a conscious choice that you make to kind of decompress, detox, or like recharge yourself. And it's for a temporary period before you go back into life. So we're just going to hope and pray that this Three of Pentacles is speaking to, solitude and not isolation. But anyway, next card. We have the Seven of Wands. Okay, yeah, y'all. I'm really hoping that this is solitude and not isolation. And then after that, and this is where I want to forewarn you guys, we have the Eight of Wands in the reverse. So here's the thing, Scorpio. The difference between isolation and solitude, not just in the definitions that I just gave, but the difference between those two is also the intention, right? So here's the dealio. I do agree with you in the fact that you guys took on a whole bunch of crap that was not your responsibility, because the only wand that you are responsible for is the Ace of Wands, because that's the only wand. You got two hands, You can only have a wand in this hand, have a sword in this one, because that's our two, masculine suits, right? So you got two hands. So I feel you on that. But the thing you want to make sure that you don't do with this Eight of Swords, and this is coming up into the 15th of the month, with the Seven of Wands, it's wonderful. Because with this, it's like with this 10 of Wands being diagonal from this, the 10 of Wands in the reverse being diagonal from the 7 of Wands, it's more or less you guys creating boundaries with people so that you don't end up in the 10 of Wands energy again. But you want to make sure with this 8 of Wands in the reverse that you're not getting, there goes the network. You want to make sure that you're not getting caught up into an energy to where you stagnate, right? Because coming into the first week, yes, you release burdens, but the Six of Swords has you moving forward mentally, right? But with this being diagonal from this Eight of Wands in the reverse, so we're talking about these two cards right here. I freaking love this deck, I swear to God. Just a little thing about myself, opposite sign, like your girl just loves mixed media art, and I love very vintage things. Like, oh my God, this deck just gives me so much life. But anyway, but we have the Six of Swords and the Eight of Wands. So the first week of January, you're coming in with the Six of Swords, so you're mentally moving forward. However, with this Eight of Wands, there's a little bit of stagnation here. But like what I was saying about the intention aspect, it's important to keep that in mind, because if you go into kind of like black or white thinking, then you're going to fall into like, oh my gosh, people were taking advantage of me last year. I'll be damned if I end up in a situation like that again, right? Then you end up isolating yourself, right? And then you end up not moving forward. So what you ultimately end up doing is shooting yourself in the foot. So if you're going into solitude just to collect yourself to figure out how it is you want to, move forward for the remainder of the month, which we are going to look at in your mid-month checkup, which you can find on Patreon, YouTube members, Vimeo, and our sanctuary, my network. You know what I'm saying? So those will be out on the 15th, because I'm not about to let y'all tarot binge, but those will be out on the 15th of this month. But coming up into the midpoint of the month, I just want you guys to keep in mind that you're not going into isolation, that it's simply just solitude. But that solitude is okay for the time being if you're trying to collect yourself on how to move forward. Now, at the bottom of the deck, why all of this is happening, come on, stop getting my face in there. Okay, there we go. It's the Ace of Hazards in the reverse. And this is fascinating. Now, I noticed at the latter part of last year, this whole other interpretation for the Ace of Pentacles kept coming up, and it's coming up again. Because, and it's like different than like, oh, it's like typically you'll look at it like, oh my gosh, you lost something, blah, blah, blah. But no, the way that Spirit's been giving it to me is more or less in the context of watching where it is you sow your seeds. So why all of this is happening, Scorpio, and why it is I'm forewarning you guys to not fall into this energy of isolation is because with you releasing these burdens, you have something, right, that you can plant into the fertile ground of 2023, but you want to be cautious of where it is you sow that seed, because once you sow that seed, it's going to multiply, you know, tenfold after itself, right? So you don't want to seed that, you don't want to sow that seed into shitty ground, right? You want to sow it into fertile ground. So more or less, why this whole little transit period that you guys are in, which is why you want to keep in mind solitude, isolation, because you're supposed to be spending this time in solitude with the clarity that you have, deciding on how it is that you want to move forward and what it is you want to grow in your life in 2023. You're not supposed to be spending this time like, you know, dwelling on what's gone past or whatever, because if you did that, then the seed that you have, you'd be sowing it into, you know, unfertile ground, and you would inadvertently be repeating your past all over again, but it would be by your own hand. So be conscious of that. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, that's been your soul session for the first half of the month. I love your freaking face. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends.